Welcome back to the couch. You got yours truly here, Big Worm, along with Morgan, I Can't Take It, Smith, and Walt Lil Bink Gamble, and we got a special guest, the #1 Longhorn fan in Texarkana, Kevin Carpenter. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
In all of Texarkana?
Yes, he's #1.
In all of Texarkana.
Yes, I believe it.
I only know 3 of us.
Yes.
I know you.
I don't.
Lynn Hammett, Tony Kirk.
Okay, I forgot about Tony.
I'm bigger than all y'all.
Yeah, but because you donate.
Yeah, I give money.
Yeah.
Hey, I was in Longview yesterday, real quick. I was in Longview yesterday, and this guy's like, yeah, the NIL stuff, we instead of one person getting a bunch of money, we want to spread it all out. So I'm on the offensive line group. So I give money to the offensive line. I said, is there any way you can get a refund?
For the offensive line?
Yeah, man.
Are you kidding?
Everybody should get a refund right now. Texas has been horrible this year.
No.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. We got to
Corey. What?
Oh my God.
I'm so glad I'm here today. If you look at the improvements,
We're not Arkansas.
no, it's
A
line-
6-win season is not acceptable. An 8-win season is just you did okay.
I went out back in the summer. I said Texas would be 8-4.
Yeah.
That's what I said it on the other radio show. They're going to be 8-4. They are so much better on the line of scrimmage.
So much.
It's not even close.
And what? 3 freshmen.
Three true
freshmen.
like
on top of that.
19-year-olds. So yeah,
Man, if you could win off stuff that hadn't happened yet,
That
God,
pancake
Texas
deal-
be winning every national championship.
That pancake deal should go up a little bit next year.
they've started a new NIL deal. I don't know how it works, but they're all about to get way more money.
Oh, Kevin Banks.
How much are they going to come up with to keep Bijan?
He's gone. There's no amount of money. Bijan don't need to stay in college.
If I was his dad or his agent, I'd tell him to leave
Yeah.
because
His coach should.
running backs, their lifespan only lasts so long. So he's got to get to that first
Could
contract.
Texas not pull up with $10 million?
Sure.
Yes, they could.
Yeah.
But why keep him? You hurt your recruiting process. You're getting the #1 running
Why
back in the
keep
country.
him? Why did you just say why
You
keep
gotta
Bijan?
move. You got to move on eventually. He can do
Move
nothing
on
else.
year after next. I'd keep Bijan.
He can do nothing else but win the Heisman and can make millions of dollars. He's going to do that anyway.
You tell me he can't help your team win?
Yeah, but
Then
still,
why would you say?
Because you got to prepare for the future, man, and that's
What?
what you got.
Think about what you're saying. You're saying
No.
you have the best running back in college
Yes.
football. You got to move on.
He's gotta
You
move
got.
on.
I'm gonna. Hey, clip
He
this.
has- he
clip
has-
this. I
he
want
has
to. I
nothing
want to keep this
He has
conversation.
nothing to prove in college football. Nothing.
My point being is, but if Texas rolled up with $10 million, he wouldn't stay for one more season because he's not going to make $10 million unless he's a top 5 pick.
Everybody will stay, but he's projected to be the first. I mean, he's
Yeah.
the first round pick.
Running backs
top
aren't.
5.
I'm going to venture to say we will never see a running back go #1 again.
No,
No, not again. Because
I don't even know why you draft one in top 10.
I agree with you. I wouldn't either. Bijan may be top 20, top 15, but you got to look at when he's going to get his first contract. He's going to get a rookie deal, which he could make more at Texas in a rookie deal, but you're going to wait till he gets that big contract, which might be when he's 26, 27.
4-year deal.
And at that, they're at the end of their lifespan, running backs. So I'd love to have him back.
What you think a running back got about a good 7 years?
No.
He could get
You talking about a good running back?
Yeah.
I don't know. AP did it for a long time.
if he can do what he did
And
in,
I think-
in college and NFL, he could
think-
get a Christian McCaffrey.
In my opinion, I think a running back can last longer now because they're not running the ball near as much.
That's true.
It's just they're just not important like they used to be.
You got to be able to catch the ball, too.
he can do that.
Yeah.
And that's where he's good. But
His head,
Y'all got a good backup,
just
though.
his cranium is huge.
He'll have a longer career probably. Roshan, to me,
yeah,
he's a
gonna be
hard-nosed
that-
running back.
Yeah.
He'll always be on the team.
He's going to be
Stay
a
healthy.
3rd or 4th round pick,
Yeah.
maybe, and play 10 years.
Yep.
So it's
Because he's a hard yardage guy. He's gonna always be a hard yardage back.
yeah.
Then have CTE when he's 39.
So we're going to talk about Texas hate. How do y'all do this? We're going to do
So-
Texas hate first? or
I
PG
thought we were talking
Carthage?
about PG Carthage,
can
but
do
I
that.
don't know the
Morgan
the
Blair
worm
too
down
rigid.
there.
Speaking of hate, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the Carthage PG game? We're gonna start off with you.
When I walked in, you said, "Can Pleasant Grove win?" And I said, "Yes, they can win. Yes, but it's and don't you think, Morgan? You've been right there up close to them because of the new offense. If we went in running the old wing tee, I would say we wouldn't get I don't know that we'd get 5 first downs.
I literally told somebody this yesterday. If this was the day after Gilmer or 2 weeks after Gilmer, I would have said no. There's no chance.
No
that
chance,
they're going to beat Carthage. I've not watched it down on Carthage, but there's no chance.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, yeah, they can beat Carthage.
Yeah, I went to the playoff game at Grimm Stadium and watched Carthage and Van Alstyne. Van Alstyne was terrible. They had one really good defensive lineman,
They had a good radio guy.
a big kid that was in the backfield the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't block him. And Pleasant Grove has 3 guys like that up front. Pleasant Grove's defensive line that might be where I'm most impressed, is their
Yeah.
D-line, yeah.
Yeah.
Carthage, man, if you put tape on and go back 10 years, they look exactly like they did 10 years ago. It's unbelievable. They got a quarterback, 6'3", 190 pounds, that can throw it 100
What
yards.
do they find? Year
It's
in, year
unbelievable.
out.
They have 2 big defensive ends. They have 3 300-pound linemen. Now, their 2 guards are probably 5'9", 300 pounds. But they got good feet and they're quick. So, I mean, they're big. And got a little white boy that can run. Number 5, you watch him tonight. He's
Running back?
cocky. He plays running back. He's receiver, plays in the slot. He does everything.
Last time Carthage came to PG and played, they had a white running back.
They
and he was very
always do. They always
He was
do.
very good.
So white
Yeah.
boys can ball, huh?
Yes. He's
Want to remind y'all.
he's one of those kids in the Van Alstyne game out here at Grimm. He'd make a good play and he'd get up and he'd stand over the guy and I love that.
Yeah, so
I loved it.
exactly what we're going to go back to. Like, you got to be a dog on the football field. I don't care. You don't have to be a Power 5 Division I prospect. You got to be a dog on the football field. And the thing about it, to me, if you don't carry that mentality on the field and you carry this, you can be passionate about a game. You can be, who's super hyped about it, but you got to be a dog at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because if the guy going to run over you and stand over you, and if this lineman's going to put you in your back, who's going to win the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
And sometimes, if it's PG's line that's going to concern me. Are they going to
Yeah.
be dogs on the line of scrimmage? Be nasty. You got to be nasty. Against a team like Carthage, you got to be real nasty.
Yeah, you're gonna because they're going.
They hurt my neighbor's son the last year we played him.
Hooks play Carthage?
Yeah.
No, they hurt my neighbor's
That was
son.
a dirty hit,
That
yeah.
was a dirty hit
On the punt
That's
return?
Yeah, he had a bad surgery. I
Hooks play Carthage?
Morgan, this is why we stay into it. This is why we stay into it.
Walter, is it all?
This is why we stay into it, and now we gonna stay into it. I'm not. Hey, no, look, I was gonna be nice, but now I'm not gonna be nice.
All right, we're even now.
No, we're not.
We're even now.
No,
Truce.
No.
Truce.
I'll change it.
No, stay
Truce.
right there.
Truce.
So they hurt him. They're dogs. They're mean. They're gonna play rough, and you got to play at the level they play at. You might have to. I didn't say you got to get a
Guys,
point
let's
in,
don't
but
act
them-
like freaking PG's a 3A team or something that can't play
sure.
football.
No, that's
Like-
not what I'm
like-
saying. I'm just saying
gotta match.
You got to match that mentality.
And here's the thing that's different, and my buddy Greg Capps and I were talking about this on the way back last week. 10 years ago, Pleasant Grove, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I mean, we were off. I mean, Pleasant Grove, we didn't have any of those dogs, not any. When I coached at Pleasant Grove, didn't have any dogs. I mean, we quit. I'll never forget the night we played hooks with Jeremiah Trotter.
Oh yeah.
And our kids, we had to force them to come out of the dressing room to play.
Really?
It was the last game of the year, and they're already talking about baseball and girls. And I heard some of them say, well, let's just get it over with. And it was 40-something to nothing at halftime, and that's hooks.
And mind you, Hooks had 3 Division I linemen.
That's the
4.
best-looking offensive
Four.
line I've
Hooks
ever seen.
Hooks may be like the most storied
Yeah,
program
Yeah.
in this area.
Yeah, the '90s it was
yeah.
Hooks.
I didn't even live here, and I knew,
Yeah.
you hear all these little small town names you don't hear. Like I knew where Hooks was.
Yeah.
The year
And all
that
that.
Jeremiah graduated, that class had, 4 D1 linemen. One went to Texas, one went to Houston, one went to Tulsa.
Didn't one go to OU? Which one did?
No.
Where did Hubbard go?
Hubbard went to Texas.
That's right.
So, and the freshman, his brother, was the best one on
Yeah.
the team.
Yeah. It's the point being is, fast forward to now, Pleasant Grove's got some dogs, and I'll give you an example. we're playing in the Star. Do you remember this, Morgan? And Lance breaks up a pass, kind of over by their Caddo Mills sideline.
Yeah.
And the quarterback kind of stumbles, and Lance pushes him down, and he flips over. And their stands stood up. I'm talking about booing.
Yeah, they were.
And I was like, why are they booing? And so I look at Lance, and don't do this all the time, but what's the little sign? He's looking at their fans doing that right there.
Their fans, I thought they were out of line for that, though.
Yes.
He batted the ball down. He didn't see where the ball went.
Yeah, he
the
didn't
dude
know.
was still standing up and,
Yeah.
took off, and Lance just gave it to him.
That's
Yeah.
the mentality
You
you got
know,
to play with tonight.
And
Would you have said
Victor's
Lance
like
was a
that.
dog last year, though?
He's a pup.
No.
He's a pup.
No.
He had to grow a little
Right
bit.
now, he literally reminds me of Landon.
You can't. He was a pup last year. You can't grade. You can't
No, he's
put that
different.
on him last year. He was a pup.
But
So you can only be a dog if you're.
No, I mean
Older?
No, that's not what I'm saying, man. That's
Walt
not
doesn't agree with you. I can tell. Walt doesn't agree with you.
What's that?
I don't know. He just gave me a look.
I just looked at you.
I don't. I mean, I'm not going.
Clean his glasses.
I hadn't watched.
He
him
said he
play
wants to
enough.
look you in the eye with clear
I
glasses.
hadn't
here
watched him
tonight.
play enough, but I know that mentality he's going to need to play with tonight.
You got that. They're all going to have to have.
Everybody's going to have to play with
yeah.
that mentality tonight. Because if they don't,
Lamar Lux wants to know how many state
No.
titles. Hook.
No, you gonna understand.
Hold on, they didn't win it with Billy.
No.
I've told you this story last time you brought this up.
Well, I got a short memory.
They didn't run the ball on the goal line with him. They threw it.
My
Pete Carroll coaching.
my dad used to talk about hooks and Billy Sims, and he described it as the quarterback could barely even get the snap off because their offensive line wouldn't, and just somehow get the ball to Billy, and he would. I mean, it was like watching a grown man against Little League.
Right, and that's what people don't talk about. His fullback was a Division I fullback with the Texas.
Yeah,
It was them too.
No, you like Victor. You know, Victor's got that edge to him. And then you kind of worry about, is he gonna? Don't punch him, Vic. Don't. You get up and talk to him, but don't.
Don't punch him.
You just go to the edge and stop. Pleasant Grove used to never had that kid, and now they do. And I don't think Josh Gibson's out there. He's not telling them to be dirty or do this, but they play with that edge like Carthage has, like Longview has, where they. And what's crazy is these kids, they're going to get on the bus today, and they think they're going to win. I mean,
You
should think
they're already planning
They
for
can
next
win.
week.
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, before Gibson wasn't like that. It was baseball.
Just so everybody knows, I keep hearing this Carthage Longview argument. It was a big thing on the Texas high school football thread.
Man, we can't. There's nothing to talk about.
Longview would destroy.
Yeah, I mean,
They would win by 80.
That would be
not
nothing to
even
talk
close.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
it
even
wasn't.
close.
That would be nothing to talk about.
No, you can't. People that don't know the difference in 5A and 4A. Now, some teams, it's not. You know, Pleasant Grove they would compete in Texas High's district. I mean, them in Texas High, I think, would be a competitive game. That's the big argument here in Texarkana.
Yeah.
And it's really, I don't think it's a really big debate, but it would be competitive.
I'd
But
like to see it.
yeah, I would too.
I wish all these teams were forced to play each other.
Well, Arkansas
So
High
we-
and Liberty Ilo should play. every year.
Arkansas High is not going to play anybody in Texas.
You know, Kevin, we bring it up a lot in the past, but like Victor Shaw, the sophomore Victor Shaw, against Argyle at left tackle was I watched his huddle, was the nastiest kid
Yeah.
on the team.
Yeah, he's got it in him.
Even I know Nick Martin hit hard,
Yeah.
but Vic was nasty.
Yeah.
Just
He's got kind of a
yeah.
got a little bad attitude.
Yeah. I mean, if he can get it, if he can harness that in, he's unblockable.
We'll take that attitude.
Yeah.
As long as we're not getting a 15-yard penalty on him.
Yeah, don't. You gotta,
He doesn't give up any of those, but when you got a dog, you got to let him off the leash.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things.
Who's going to have that mentality tonight? Is
Everybody.
is the offensive line.
Everybody.
That meant, because if they do their job,
Yeah.
it's going to be hard to stop the quarterback.
Yeah,
Troy
it's
Johnson.
here's what I can see happening. I can see us, if we put pressure on their quarterback, we got a chance. He can stand in the pocket and throw it as good as anybody I've seen, probably better than anybody I've seen this year. But if you get to him, like I watched the Van Alstyne, they pressured him a little bit, and he can't run that good. So
He's not Tennyson.
we could we can stay with their receivers, is what I'm saying, with our corners and safeties. But for us to go into the fourth quarter and thinking we're going to win, I think Carthage has got to have 3 or 4 turnovers. What do you think?
I don't think 3 or 4. I don't
10
think
penalties?
I don't think it's
So-
3 or 4 turnovers or 10 penalties. I think this is a lot closer than anybody thinks it is right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're going to know in the first. I hate to say we're going to know in the first quarter, but we'll know
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
If PG or Carthage is better, we'll know who's better within the first two
Yeah,
sessions.
We said that when
But I just can't imagine some of these people are, oh, Carthage's going to win by 28. I just can't imagine a 4A team being 28 points better
No.
than this Pleasant Grove team right now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. So you're saying the 17 and a hook is a good bet?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would take that.
Where do you get down on that? I need to know.
We weren't really supposed to talk about it on camera.
The only football game I ever bet on, 1989 Oklahoma versus Arizona, and I lost $20. Arizona kicked a field goal and won the game, and I lost $20. That's the last time I ever bet on football.
Hey, the worst loss I ever took in sports gambling, I guess since we're talking about it, long time ago, Mike Leach is at Texas Tech, and they're playing SMU.
Yeah.
And they're giving up 48.5 points. It might have been 49.5. It was a lot. I was like, I'm taking SMU.
Yeah.
Into the game, winning by whatever. They have to score to cover. This dude brings his first team offense out there to go score. That's when I knew these coaches look at lines.
Leach?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
They look at
yeah,
lines. Yeah, they know.
you know.
They know. And yeah, I guess I don't blame them. But
So I think it's going to be a good game then. Coming from you, you guys have
Listen,
watched all year.
how many blowouts do you see in a fourth round game? Either way, I don't believe PG is going to blow them out. I don't believe they're going to blow PG out.
And I remember a couple years ago, Newton beat Dangerfield.
I think those smaller.
70-7.
I think that's more susceptible in the smaller.
yeah, that
divisions.
Newton was
That, no,
their
they
whole
just
team was Division
One players.
Yeah, because
though.
you can run into that. I mean, if you have on a 2A team, you have 5, 6 D1 guys, you can blow somebody out. But I tell you where we are going to see a blowout is in the state championship game in 4A Division 2.
yeah, yeah.
It's terrible.
It could
Yeah.
be different with Silsby though. I'm telling you now.
Silsby's got. Remember we
Because
played
they-
Silsby last year.
They got some problems over there, man.
That's what I keep hearing every time
Draylon
PG
Miller.
beats them.
Draylon Miller. Well, they're 1-1 right now.
True.
Yeah, I
They're
don't,
1-1 right now, Morgan.
Wimberley will come out of Region 4.
You think so?
Yeah, they play somebody tonight that's not very good. So, and we know what Wimberley's about like Aubrey. They're probably better than Aubrey, but and then Cuero. I think Cuero will beat Silsby. So I think it's going to be Cuero against us or
Carthage.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's up next week?
Glen Rose plays.
Glen Rose.
You know, we beat them in was it overtime last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got that quarterback is back, so they're good. But
Who are they
Pleasant
playing?
Grove's way better than they were last year. I don't think it's even close. But
Longview's playing the number 2 ranked team in the state tonight, Mansfield Timberview.
yeah,
Their offensive line averages over 300 pounds.
yeah.
Mansfield Timber's offensive line though?
Yeah. Their running back's 5'6", 140. And
He must got jets.
he better hope Darian Boone don't find him
Well,
in the open field because he will kill that kid.
Boone better hope he don't get put on skates. If that guy's 5'6", 140, he must be a little electric.
Hey,
You know,
They-
in high school football, you can have that guy. You watch tonight, the kid at Carthage, he might be smaller than that. He'll line up at running back, but he'll line up in the slot, and they'll run him on jets, and he can go. I mean, he can play.
man,
If Longview wears those helmets, they won't get scored on the rest of the year.
well, they're only giving up 9 points a game for the season.
I know.
Crazy.
They're giving up less than a point in the second half. And my guy told me last night that runs Longview for me that the first team defense is giving up less than 5 points a game.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So they have one weakness on that team. And, of course, I can't say it here, but they have one weakness on that defense, and it hasn't been found yet.
Okay.
And I hope it doesn't get found. But
Yeah.
it's going to take a strong – it ain't going to be this team tonight because they can't pass.
Okay.
Well, you can put somebody you can.
But I tell you what we do
Football,
have.
that's the thing about football. You can cover that up.
Number 4 cornerback in the state of Texas is going to be on Jalen Hill tonight.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Who is it though?
I don't know. I do know who it is. Hold on. You said that.
I think I've seen his name.
Do you know who Chris Johnson is? That went to Pine Tree, the guy that ran the unofficial 4.1840 in the combine. He played at Louisville, played
Yeah.
for the Raiders. It's his son.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
He got that type of speed too?
I don't know.
Mansfield.
Timberview.
No, I think
Chris Johnson could roll. Not the running back, Chris Johnson. The
No,
cornerback.
yeah, he
he
talking
played
about-
for the Rams when they were in St. Louis.
Glenn Rose plays Monahans, which
You can't win because your name's dumb.
No.
Monahans.
I hadn't seen that
that's
name
kinda
since I was
like,
12 years old in
that's
baseball.
kinda like,
Baseball, Little League Baseball.
Atascosa.
It's Atascocita.
Atascocita. I love this time of year, man.
Who's he play for? Who do they play tonight?
Mon-
Yeah.
Mansfield Timberview.
Mansfield Timberview. He's a junior.
I was listening to the Horn, which is the Austin
Or maybe a
radio,
sophomore. I don't know.
Austin radio sports talk show, and Craig Way's show. He was going down all the playoff matches, and his partner Jeff Howe, who if you don't follow Jeff
Yeah.
Howe, you need to. He knows everything about Texas football. And they were going through the spreads, and Craig Way said Carthage by 10, and Jeff Howe said I would say by 1,000,000. And Craig Way said no. He goes, it's Pleasant Grove, and Jeff Howe goes, oh, I know they got a great program, and Craig said, he goes 10's about where I would put it. So, and Craig Way knows everything about high school football. So, it's a national. I mean, it's a statewide deal, and
I expect a close game. I mean, literally, it's number 1 versus number 2. I have every reason to be in Dallas tonight, but I'm going to
Yeah.
this game. If
Yeah.
I didn't think PG could win, I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
That's just truth be told.
yeah.
For 4A,
And it's been close every time they played.
for
Yeah.
4A ball, do you feel that they should love Carthage on the other side, even though they should be on this side?
I mean,
Is
really,
it good
though,
for Division II to be? I mean, come on.
No,
Anybody that
I mean, Texas is so big, you got to divide it up and do it by geography.
I mean,
Yeah.
they've always been in that Houston area division,
Yeah.
though. I mean,
And,
it is what it is.
You
I
know,
guess.
after next year, we don't know how they may go to a 7A.
and that's gonna.
That they may, of course, us in Carthage, the numbers are really similar. I think we may have more kids than
They just
do.
have more football players.
Yeah.
Randomly, people that move out aren't football players.
No, and it's
I don't mean better football. I'm just saying.
one of the
How do you go from 4A Division 1 but down
But they got
and
the
somehow
little-
get
they
better
got the
every
little
year?
perfect storm due to their geographical location, man. And
Yeah,
they're
they're-
out there by themselves.
How's it
almost.
far
Y'all
from
gonna-
Longview is Carthage?
Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
How far is long as you
Far enough where they can't get none of them players.
Yeah, it's pretty close to Marshall. It's well, I think I think it's number 88 for Carthage. Was it Elysian Fields last year? And he says, "Wait till you see this kid."
I know who he is.
Yeah, he's a dude.
I know who
You
he
know what?
is.
I don't understand.
I know exactly who he
Y'all know what happens in that particular district we're talking about over here at
Yeah.
PG. Kids having to sit out,
Yeah.
not getting to play at all.
I know
Then
what
you
you're
hear
gonna
about
ask.
all this
Yeah.
going on, kids transferring. Let's just say that kid, for instance, Elysian Fields. He wouldn't get to play if it was this district.
No, it's. I got a conspiracy theory, because I talked to Josh back after the Gilmer game, and I said, "How many move-ins do they have?" And he goes, "Gilmer." He goes, "They have several."
Oh, they got a
He
bunch.
said, "But I sat in." This is Josh. He goes, "I was in on the district meeting, and I voted that it was okay for them to move in." He said one of their kids, I voted for him to come in, and the other coaches didn't, so he didn't get to move in. Well, I'm going to open up a can of worms. Stephanie, if you're listening, I'm not going to say anything real controversial here, but do you think these coaches like Carthage, Gilmer, Pleasant Grove, Texas High, Longview, if they kind of got a buddy-buddy system and says, hey, I'm getting a move in from Elysian Fields, y'all vote for me? Because I know you're going to get one.
Absolutely, that happens. Absolutely, that
Because the
happens.
Gilmer
Scratch
coach,
my back, guy, scratch yours.
Yeah. Gilmer knows.
In that district, I'd be like, I tell you what, you move him in, but you can only beat me by X amount.
Yeah.
Coach.
The North
Hey, and that
Lamar
stuff
coach-
does happen.
That does
I don't
happen.
know about that specific situation, but I do know there are handshake deals on, all right, I'm not going to beat you worse than X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, now
You know.
it goes the whole state. Of course, I follow Austin sports because I listen to their.
Yeah.
Man, it goes on down there. I mean, and you got schools that literally across the street from each other.
Look, you got
And they're-
yeah, Westlake, Travis.
Yeah,
It's more schools than that, but who do y'all hear about? Westlake or Travis?
Yeah.
Westlake or Travis. I mean,
it's but I wonder if there's because one might move into PG, might come up, and the
Gilmer-
Gilmer coach will say, "You take him."
No,
but I'm
Gilmer ain't
take
going to do
this
that.
guy."
They're going to be like, no.
no.
They shouldn't have helped them at all.
Yeah.
If they're going to stab them
The
in
trick,
the back.
what Carthage is always, what Carthage is
Because
always
they're
been
going to
good
do it. If they get the chance, they're going to do it. I tell you, I wouldn't have done it just because that one kid they wouldn't let play. I can't even remember his name.
Yeah.
I'd have been done. No move-ins ever. For none of y'all.
Well, I know it's
Oh yeah, pass 'em.
yeah. They've it's a network, man, and it works. The trick is you got to move in middle school.
I don't want to get into any of that.
And I know
I don't want nothing to do with any of that.
You don't want to know.
I don't even want to know about it.
I know that
Y'all want to talk about another town that happened? Y'all do whatever. I don't even want to talk about it. around here.
the
I'm not here. I want nothing to do with it.
well, of course, I'm a PG defender, and
Well, you're about to get it in these comments, I bet.
I see knuckleheads. You know, they call Pleasant Grove LE North. But
Which that's funny to me.
it is funny. It's funny, but I'm telling you, and
I had somebody tell me the other day, yeah, man, I can't believe we're in the fourth round of the playoffs.
yeah.
Dude,
Why?
I died.
mean, but
It's so
why?
funny, man.
But why?
I don't know.
Why
I
can't I mean?
And at what point do you call them a move? If they move in the 5th grade from LE, and then they're a senior in high school, do we call them a move in? At what point
No.
do we use a different word for them?
It depends if you're winning or losing.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
But you
Yeah,
talking?
Quinn said quit trying to start fights.
Somebody said that's a prize in the 4th round. But man, do you see for these playoff teams that are undefeated? Was Aubrey undefeated?
Yeah, yeah.
Who they playing?
I know.
playing
That's, I
watched
had
that
one of those
Gainesville
kids
game.
cuss at me. I'm just like,
Aubrey kid?
I literally looked behind me. I was like, you can't be talking to me. Like, I don't know. What did I do?
What did you do?
He said F you to me and was just like,
You're just a cameraman, weren't you?
yeah, dude, I'm doing nothing. This is pregame.
Oh.
I'm sitting out here like, I literally turned around to see who they were talking to. There was nobody there. They were talking to me.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Yeah, that's those teams over there. We call them flight schools
Yeah.
because they're leaving
Yeah.
McKinney and they're leaving Frisco and they're going out to Aubrey and
Well, then we got to take some athletes.
they
with
got
us.
to take some. Well, what they need to do is call Pleasant Grove and say, "Let's play first game of the year. We'll meet you in Sulphur Springs." Because you look at Aubrey's schedule, they play teams just like them, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I would say not even 9 out of 10. I'd say 97 out of 100 white flight schools are going to be bad at sports.
Yeah, yeah. And then you look at different. I love looking at high school football. You're talking about like Westlake and Lake Travis. That's
Yeah.
a whole nother animal.
Good God.
They in Highland Park, and Tony Kirk has this theory that you take kids like at Highland Park or Westlake, where their parents. You think people are rich around here? You have no idea.
Yeah.
If you live in Westlake or Highland Park,
Stupid, man.
and their kids grow up, and their parents say, "Boy, you're going to be good at what you do, whether playing checkers or sports or business. You better be successful at it." So they grow up with that mindset of, "I have no choice but to win." Yeah. And plus, they have speed coaches.
Well, I think more than that, there's a huge difference in being skilled and being a great athlete.
Yeah.
Though what the offense they're running, everything. Let's talk about South Lake Carroll.
Yeah.
Those are extremely skilled
Yeah.
players.
I think it's just a great system.
I don't even know that they have the best players every year.
No, it's just a great. They just work hard. It's a
Yeah.
great system.
But I'd tell you, I saw one specific play Carthage did when I was watching on Bally's the other night, and I could not believe what I saw. And you don't really see this in high school football until you get to 6A. And they had 2 receivers come in on the outside, just run deep, almost like dig routes.
Yeah.
Found the windows and just meshed right to the football. You never see that.
Smart.
If that's what they're doing and they're able to do that, I don't know if anybody's ever going to be able to beat them again.
Just good
Because you
coaching.
cannot defend that.
Just-
No, you got
You have your back. Even if you're in a zone, linebackers have their back to that guy. They don't know where he is.
right. To
And the
teach that.
cornerback can't go up on him, or the freaking sideline's going to be open. I mean, it was that one play. Like,
But it's that
they
type
could
of
run that every single play.
It's that type of stuff that gets kids ready for the next level because they don't go in behind. When you have coaching like that that's teaching you that, you don't go in behind. And the biggest thing you hear in college, right, are you gonna if you graduate early?
Yeah.
You better come in
Yeah.
Yep.
He's been ready to play. Yeah.
ready to play.
Yeah.
That quarterback against Gilmer, he had all day to throw. Gilmer didn't blitz him. They didn't.
Probably scared to death. I mean,
They should have
Yeah,
played.
That's what it is. Scared.
well, just hypothetically, Lance and Vic, let's just say they're getting a really strong rush tonight. I mean, it's nothing for them to just out contain that.
Yeah.
Quarterback step through it,
Yeah.
take off.
Yeah.
Then you don't have your best dudes on them. I mean, would you rather keep them in front of the ball or
For what
get
y'all
a 30% chance
No,
on a
for what
sack,
y'all
you
saying,
know?
this is not Tennyson, so you put pressure on the dude and you make him throw on a run.
I'm
See
just,
what-
I'm,
see
I'm
what he
just
can
saying,
do.
like, what if they
Right.
over contain that?
Yeah.
And he's out. I mean, the kid can run. He runs the ball quite a bit.
Yeah, he runs, but our linebackers can outrun him. They'll catch him. But
I guess my point is your best players on defense are no longer in the play.
the best players on our defense are the corners and the safeties and the two.
The best players on this defense are the defensive ends. What are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you
But
can't.
if they
but
don't get home,
you can't be setting the edge all night. You got to with the pressure.
watch them. They're going to run some counters back at Lance because Lance is going to get upfield and he's got to.
Sit down.
He's got to.
Talking about sit down. He got to sit down because he's going whatever path Lance takes is what they're going to take.
I think, yeah.
They're going. And you take that bad, you're going to give us this one. What you going to give us?
I think they're going to try to run the ball right at us because our two inside tackles aren't huge. Gilmer had bigger kids.
Yeah, if you're
Who's
saying
number 27
for who?
for Pleasant Grove?
Not bad.
How old is that kid?
He's young.
I heard he was a freshman.
Yeah, he's young.
Dadgum. Yeah, he can play. I don't even know his name.
Who?
He's strong too.
Whoever you said they're 300-pound guards.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
If you got a little D lineman,
Yeah.
them big boys gonna
Yeah.
lay on you.
I don't know.
I'm really excited about this
I don't
game.
know. One of
Jay
the
Davis
best-
says his name is Holt.
I'm as excited about this game as I was in 2019 when they came to Pleasant Grove,
What's
Yeah.
the fourth round?
which, by the way, is one of the outside of a state championship game. That's the best atmosphere I've ever experienced in a
There's
high
no
school football
question.
game.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
one of
Lining up an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game.
that was like the
I
Argyle
mean,
game though.
yeah, dude, there was just to buy tickets the week of, they had to go to the field house, right, or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we went to do an interview, and like there was a long line.
Yeah.
Some dude from Alaska was there. Never
he
been,
flew
something.
from
I don't know how I remember that.
Yeah.
Just the best atmosphere of all time for high school football.
What were you gonna say?
one of the best things leading up to the game day, is
Shout out to Game Day.
I've been talking to some of the kids, and the most encouraging thing that I've seen out of all of it is the attitude that the PG boys have towards this game. Every one of them I've talked to, the first thing that came out of their mouth is, I hope they don't think we're scared to come and play with them. Because we're not.
That's what I like to hear. No, they're not.
Like, they're, to me, and I'm not saying, oh, we're going to out-athlete them, this, that, but to me, one of the worst things you can give to a team in like PG is right now is have that type of mentality with a whole bunch of hope. That is not good for you.
Yeah.
I just think PG is going to come out and play, and I feel that Carthage better come out and do the same.
I feel like within the first two possessions, we're going to know a lot.
Yeah, we'll know.
But this game's not going to be decided till
Shout out
till
to
when they come out at the second half.
shout out to the legend Paul Norton.
I just saw him come. What's
Wow.
up, Paul?
So-
You give somebody like Paul Norton. Did y'all know he was watching y'all's show?
No.
They say.
Speaking of Lake Travis.
I was about to say we were talking about Lake Travis earlier. Paul, you need to bring
yeah,
Game Day to Lake Travis.
Paul,
Holler at me.
What you need to do.
We can make that happen.
Here's what you do. Call Stephanie Carpenter and offer her a teaching job at Lake Travis. And then find me a job.
Right.
I'll work for the school system.
Here's what we'll do.
Let's do it.
Let's
it
get
going.
let's get his wife a job. Let's start a Game Day in Lake Travis. Kevin's gonna run it.
And you're gonna hire me.
Oh, yes.
Let's
Yes.
do that
Yeah.
for real.
I'd go.
I'd love to be.
I'd
have
move
Lake
the-
Travis.
I'd
Dude,
move
can
this
you imagine
afternoon.
what Game Day at Lake Travis would be like? Oh my God, it would be
Just
so
give me
fire.
this.
It would
me
be
this.
so fire.
They have a guy, they call it Flex ATX, and a guy named Snoop Daniel. But they don't do this. He just does Facebook posts, and it's him by himself and a couple other guys keep up with local sports. Nothing like Game Day. Nothing. Yeah.
Lake Travis would be the perfect.
Hey, I'm down, Paul.
Perfect big school, big town for us to.
And I don't need a corner office there they call it the University of Lake Travis. Have you ever seen Lake Travis?
Well, let me tell you, Gameday does not want an office on campus.
No. No.
We're more work from home kind of company.
So if my wife is
I
listening,
want nobody looking for me.
Stephanie, call a realtor.
I like to work at night.
The only problem is we can't afford to live anywhere
I was
near
going to say,
Lake
I hope you got a good retirement plan where you're at, because we can't afford to pay you a whole lot.
We'd have to live in like Waco and Drive or Lorena or something like that. We can't afford to live in that part of Texas. Them folks are crazy. Got money.
A lot of money. So you speaking of that, we go to talked about the game.
Wait a minute. The first ever quarterback ever in Pleasant Grove history.
Who?
David Oliver is watching. Snake.
David Oliver.
He was won the very first Pleasant Grove High School football game.
What's the difference between a snake and a worm? One of them's deadly.
For
one of them's
him, not much. I don't know the real story about how he got the nickname Snake, but he's a good buddy of mine. Lives in Dallas. His kids go to Highland Park.
I've heard you talk about him before.
So he was the quarterback and I was offensive lineman. He would if David got touched or sacked, he's gonna let his offensive lineman know it. I'm talking about just dog cuss you, and you always wanted to please David. We couldn't, so because we weren't very good, but. That's funny. I'm sorry I stole your show.
You didn't steal my show. Just keep talking. So PG Carthage, we're hoping that PG can come out and get to the 5th round. Is that the thing? And so they call it David versus Goliath. I read something on Facebook yesterday. Somebody said.
I've been seeing that a lot. I don't know why.
I mean, I'm not gonna call it that. I'm talking 1 versus 3. Is it or 7? I thought PG was 3.
They were until they lost to Gilmer. They went from.
They're 7 now.
I
I
think.
mean, hell, there's only 8 teams left. They can't be 7.
No, right now they're 2. I mean, if you ranked them now,
Yeah. I mean,
I guess you would put Cuero 3.
Yeah.
But Cuero don't have Jordan Whittington.
No.
So
Fantastic player.
I would say right now it's 1 versus 2 in 4A Division 2.
I mean, this is a state championship tonight.
Yes.
Make no doubt about it. You're watching the state championship tonight. Show up in Marshall, Texas. If you don't, be on YouTube at around 6:50.
Derek Hooper. I didn't play with Tank
650.
Tucker. I
God.
graduated and then
Pleasant Grove was bad. You had the snake. You had Tank.
Well,
Like, my God, how are y'all bad?
Well,
you normally don't get nicknames unless you're good.
the first year, we only had juniors and sophomores. We didn't have a senior class because I was the first senior class. So the very first ever,
Rename this field house.
very first ever,
Carpenters.
we should, yeah. We were 3-8. We beat Maud, North Lamar, and Queen City were our wins.
We have came a long way.
My senior year,
Play 'em
we
all.
only won. We were 2-8.
I heard that wee worm.
We beat. Who'd we beat? New Boston
well,
and
I'm
Maud.
talking about in life, dude. Here you go.
Yeah.
I'm tearing more.
But Tank Tucker,
Tank.
Terrence, after I graduated, he played the next year, and he would go down. I would say top 5 best running backs Pleasant Grove ever had.
Don't do that.
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yeah, he was that.
All
good.
right.
Over.
You notice there's always, like my dad, they didn't have football when he was growing up. He's 80. Well, they had football. But they didn't have it at Redwater. But he was always, I played with this guy. Blah, 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 blah. He was so good.
Yeah.
Well, I was in Redwater one day. I'm like, man, I'm going to look this dude up.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows this guy went to school there. Like, there is no documentation. Don't even ask me now. But people do that all the time. Man, when I was playing, it was so-and-so. He was so good. And you're just like,
Now Tank was, I mean, you can ask any old PG guy. Tucker was good.
Just like, if you grew up 70s, it's going to be what's the quarterback of the Cowboys name back?
Staubach?
Staubach was the best ever. And it's like,
Well,
I don't know so much about that.
human beings in the 70s were different. I mean, they were,
Can you admit they are not as good of athletes?
no, they weren't as good athletes.
Okay, thank
But
you.
competing, like John Havlicek couldn't guard Steph Curry or Iverson.
He was
No.
not a real basketball player.
Could Bill Russell play today? Yeah. I think Bill Russell
Yeah.
could play.
Will
Chamberlain.
Chamberlain can play today.
I think all the bigs can still play.
Yeah.
It's when you
Oscar Robertson
Like,
could probably play.
West would be in a bind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He would be in an absolute bind.
yeah. But football's different. I think.
I mean, do you not agree? He'd be in an absolute bind.
He would. I mean,
What was that? What was that shooting? The dude who was always hitting threes, Corver. He was like, if you picked up Allen Iverson in his prime and dropped him in the 60s, they'd be like, this dude's a wizard.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
they think he was an alien.
Like
He would get caught for traveling a whole
oh
lot.
yeah, yeah. But I think the only athletes that you could, if you had a time machine and took some from the 20s and brought them here, would be golf and some baseball players.
Yeah.
I think Babe Ruth could hit today. Ty Cobb could hit. And Byron Nelson could hit a golf ball like they do now. It's just equipment was different.
Dude, Babe Ruth looked like
Looked
like he was a part-time chef.
But for you to say that,
Low-paid
Bruce
chef
Kepton
at
and them are like football players,
Just
playing
maybe a
golf.
cook.
I mean,
Yeah, a cook at your local hotel.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
Babe Ruth would not be that dude
They
today.
didn't-
Come on now.
Babe Ruth could hit. He could run for his size, but he baseball you didn't have to. You just ate hot dogs and drank beer. What's wrong
Obviously.
with that?
I mean, some of them still do today.
Yeah, yeah. Seen pictures of like in the '80s, Keith Hernandez smoking a lung dart in the dugout of a
throwing
Mets game.
gas.
Lung dart.
Yeah, they're
love
so
that.
it's athletics has come a long way, but like yeah, Tucker would be good. I don't like to do it. Let's do a ranking instead of doing a baseball all-time ranking. Why don't y'all do a best running backs in Texarkana ranking?
Oh,
Have we done that?
God.
We have not done that?
Don't even give them an idea.
I think we've
I
done
wasn't
that.
gonna.
Every
throw
time
up-
they do this, my phone will start ringing.
We haven't done running
I'll start
backs.
getting messages.
Oh, that was just because of baseball.
Oh, you didn't? Y'all forgot about this dude in 1942.
I told myself.
With my great granddad,
Yeah.
heard he could ball. I can't believe they're gonna disrespect him like that.
I'm gonna say
laces
this.
off the ball.
I'll say this.
His
and say
stats are on his
a bunch
tombstone.
of times that if I'll say the best running back that I've heard talked about is Graylin Wyatt. So that I think there's nothing to talk about.
I think when it comes to running backs, I think it's easily Billy Sims.
No, you're talking about in Texarkana.
You know they like to include themselves in Texarkana.
Well, if you're gonna add Hooks in New Boston,
Yeah, you're gonna have Billy.
I mean Billy Sims is number one. I mean, who else did you put above that?
Some say Graylin Wyatt was
I mean, some say, nah, I ain't,
New
I
Boston
ain't gonna
had-
start nothing.
New Boston had Carl Brewer.
Carpenter. He wasn't a Billy though.
No, he wasn't Billy, but he played in the league.
Yeah,
Him and Kim Phillips.
Kim Phillips. I forgot about Phillips.
Do you know, I was thinking about something the other day. How many professional football players do you know? Like, not met, do you know? Just that have played in the NFL.
I know a few.
Everybody knows somebody, right?
know a few.
I know a
I
few.
just know two.
Have you ever known?
Does
an
Mike
NBA
Cherry count?
Have you ever known an NBA player?
Mike's my guy. He does.
You know how rare it is to play in the NBA? That's how, like, everybody knows an NFL player. Nobody really knows an NBA player. It's so
No.
rare.
No, I don't know an NBA.
Yeah, it's just,
And the chances we got one, you may get to know one day, and that's
I hope so.
Collins. But
I'm going to the,
he's our only shot.
I'm going to the Arkansas, Kentucky game in Kentucky, and I'm going to the Kentucky, Kansas game in Kentucky.
You need to go watch my Hornets play basketball.
They balled
I
last
do.
Beat Creighton.
I do.
You know why they're
Hey,
good?
you know, I'm credentialed down there now.
Yeah,
Just show up and be like,
know what?
I know Kevin Carpenter. And they were just like,
yeah.
I'll give you his credential real quick.
They balled last
I saw you were on the sidelines at one of the Texas games, and my feelings were hurt. And Stephanie knew it. I'm like, he didn't call me.
Oh, he's terrible.
So, yeah, it's what we need to
Guys,
do.
I don't run this sideline. Y'all act like I can go make demands. Like, you know what? I'm not coming unless Kevin Carpenter comes.
I can carry your bags or something.
I mean, the only time you get an assistant is if you're at like a Super Bowl, where you're carrying a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
or like a national championship game. I would assume.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever heard of them letting somebody else, you either work for the team or it's a Super Bowl.
I'll tell you, I'll make you a deal. If Paul Norton gets us on in Austin game day, then I'll be your game day guy and your Longhorn insider.
Done.
There you go.
Boy, you become an inside. I'm calling you.
You call Paul Norton. If Paul Norton I'll make him the same deal I made another school. If he'll pay for our equipment, and I have a new business model I think it'd work great for Lake Travis. They'd benefit, we'd benefit, everybody'd be happy. And
Now, you going to include Westlake, Dripping
nope,
Springs?
Lake Travis,
Dripping Springs.
because they're paying for it.
Vandergrift?
Yeah. Why not Dripping Springs?
Because Lake Travis is paying for it.
And they have about 4,500 students.
Golly. I'll tell you what I've learned. You don't want to cover 5-6 schools.
Heck no.
That's not what you want to do. You want to cover
I'm
one
down.
school.
You already do it.
I can wear the black and red. Yeah. Paul, make it happen.
Plus
and
Paul. But if Paul ever leaves,
He ain't leaving.
we might have to
Why would he leave?
look
You
other
look up
places.
greatest superintendent jobs on planet Earth.
And
That might be
that'd
that
the
might be
best.
it. Yeah.
Hey, I'd love to go to
You get to live
Austin.
in the greatest city in the world.
I don't know about that.
You know, I saw a stat yesterday. Not change subjects, but in the portal as of Tuesday, there were 500 receivers
Oh my
and
gosh.
500 defensive backs in the portal.
And about 300 won't get a school. You know that, don't you?
500.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, let's go in order here real quick. College football championships.
I don't want to talk about that. Texas not there.
I got TCU.
I hope K-State
Gonna
wins.
get beat.
To TCU is not a top 4 team, guys.
No, but they're going to win this game.
I'm going to be there.
And I think Michigan, sorry, Mugno, Michigan might blow them out.
Yes. Yeah, easily.
I'm going to be
They
there.
lost their running back for the season.
I'm going to be working that game. I'm excited for it, but I do not particularly want TCU to win.
Well, you shouldn't say that on camera. They won't get on the sideline. Work.
There's only
First off, I'm concerned with the Cotton Bowl. I ain't going to worry about what TCU says.
yeah.
And I assure you, they're not watching.
There's less TCU fans in this town than Texas fans.
I assure you, nobody on TCU's team is watching the show right now.
No,
They played at AT&T. Big
Jay
12
Davis,
championship.
Jay Davis said A&M's 12th man is in the portal.
yeah.
Ben Watts asked, where is Haynes King transferring? I actually was with Coach King yesterday for a couple hours, and I don't know. That's not a question you ask.
Breaking news.
No,
here.
you don't. You
No,
don't
no,
answer
no.
that
I don't
question.
know. It ain't no breaking news. I don't know.
You don't answer that question.
I'm
you
just
don't
saying.
ask that question either.
It would be very difficult for him to transfer.
Okay.
I mean, he can go somewhere. It's just you got to know what kind of kid he is. I don't really know Haynes personally,
Yeah.
but he's one of them dudes. Like I can see him staying there and winning that job back.
Yeah, I want him. He wants to be an Aggie, which is wonderful. It's like Hudson. I was shocked
He
that
don't want it.
Hudson Card's leaving.
In
But
the
Hudson's
beginning,
going
he
to
said he didn't want to
graduate.
transfer.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, in the beginning, he said no
Hudson
matter
wants to
what,
play.
He wants to play.
he wants to
wants to
play.
play.
But he's one of those, he's Longhorn in his blood.
And honestly, he did enough to when things were going array that
Yeah.
he might have should have got something.
And I
But
feel
they
like
can't.
wherever
But they
he
couldn't
goes,
shake
he's
it up.
going to strive.
But
They couldn't shake it
A&M, they're not have anything to do with Coach King, but just the people, the players that I know there. It's an unhappy environment.
Yeah,
They're losing
right.
a lot of. They're losing them.
It's not the thing is they're not losing the great players or the good players.
When they just lost last night, when the bad player.
Here's what I was saying. They're
Thompson.
losing the players that aren't playing right now.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they're not great. They're just
Yeah.
not playing.
Yeah.
So they're losing those guys.
Yeah.
But if I were a top recruit, there's no way I'd go to A&M right now. Too many promises have been made. I don't know. I guess I say that if you're a kid, or let's say come from low socioeconomics, and they offer a bunch of money, and your family's like, well, they're offering more than this and that. I think it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I was kind of for players getting paid
Yeah.
until I found out how they were getting paid.
How are they getting paid?
The NCAA, they're the biggest crooks in the world.
Oh yeah, that's a mafia.
So what should be happening is everybody gets a stipend,
Yeah.
and it comes from the NCAA.
Yeah.
That's what everybody thought was going to happen. What the NCAA was like, oh, you know what? They aren't going to pay anybody. So they're like, no, y'all can go make your own money.
Yeah.
So now you can't say, oh, players can't make money. They just want nothing to do with it. They're not going to give you their money.
Right.
You go out and do whatever, which part of the reason the best video game of all time
it's not back
is
out.
NCAA. Do you know that it's pushed back to 2025 now?
Yeah.
It was just 24 the other day.
Yep.
25, or it might be 24 then.
24.
Maybe you're right.
ESPN
What are we,
said
next
24.
year.
Yeah,
It's
so, man, I hate the NCAA. We don't need the NCAA. There really isn't a need for them anymore.
They're going to go away eventually
Yeah, I mean, and they need to.
because they don't do anything now.
I feel like we're going to see like 2 or 3 super conferences,
Yeah.
and none of them are going to play anybody else. Maybe
each
for
other.
a national championship at the end of the
Yeah.
year, but that's it. You don't need an NCAA anymore. Make your own rules
Yeah.
or no rules and run with it.
No, it's come down to and boosters, they're not supposed to just walk up and give Haynes King $1,000, but they can do it now.
Yeah.
You know,
I got in trouble for giving a kid some shoes. Not a college kid, a high school kid. I got in trouble for that.
yeah.
But, and not in a lot of trouble, let me just say that. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't either.
If somebody needs some shoes, not a star player,
Yeah.
nothing like that. And it's just like, you mean to tell me you're going to call me from Austin, Texas over a pair of shoes? But in the same turn, go to Duncanville and see what them players get.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
Watch
yeah.
Duncanville when they show up tomorrow night for this Hoop Fest.
Yeah.
And tell me everything they have they bought.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Of course not.
And the NCAA
that.
is 1,000 times worse than that.
Yeah.
You know that.
No, it needs to get more organized. And, when Nick Saban comes out, and he was pissed when all this started. And one reason he was mad, because he knew his empire, and I'm not saying Alabama's done.
It's crumbling, though.
It's
chipping
slowly,
away, crumbling.
Because then you got A&M and Texas, who have way more money than Alabama does. They got thousands of millionaires out there that can pay Jimbo off if they want to. They just choosing not to right now. And Alabama and Clemson, they don't have that kind of money. Now Ohio State does, USC.
Arkansas doesn't.
Arkansas's got more than you think. They've got money.
They got money for their basketball
In
team.
fact,
They got a lot of money for the basketball team.
Win then.
if it was just a wild west giving out money, I would put Texas number 1, A&M 2, USC, maybe Notre Dame, and Arkansas would be in the top 10.
I hate Notre Dame, man. I hate every time they get in.
Yeah,
Because you know they're going to get blown out.
yeah.
Every time.
It's like when Arkansas plays Alabama.
Been pretty close here.
Okay.
Besides this year.
Yeah, man. Moral victories count.
Yeah.
Kind of like them beating y'all by 1 this year.
Hey,
I like Arkansas.
to this day,
Oh, I
don't care
just-
what they say.
real
That's
reason I
holding
give 'em a hard
call
time.
that they got away with.
Hey, speaking of, there's been 2 holding calls against Texas's opponents
And-
all year. All year. 12 games, 2 holding calls.
And that's where the
Oklahoma has had 3. So you tell me that the Big 12 doesn't hate?
Big 12.
Texas
Oh,
and
a little
Oklahoma?
conspiracy against them. I like it.
Yeah, but
I like
look,
what you did there, Kevin.
Yes,
No,
now that's
no,
what we can
yesterday-
talk about.
no,
Kevin, you're on next week. Let's go.
Yesterday,
I like this.
The Big 12 named that kid at Kansas State the Defensive Player of the Year.
Not even close.
It's not even close.
Who should it have been?
Jalen
Jalen
Ford, the
Ford.
linebacker at Texas,
Yes.
had 70 more tackles. He had
4 interceptions.
4 interceptions, like 4 fumbles calls, 2 fumble. It's not even close. This
Kelvin
kid from
Banks.
Kansas State had 7 sacks all year. He hadn't had a sack in 6 weeks.
Kevin, we're going to have to make you your own show. What you just did right there can go viral.
Yeah, it's horrible. And they
They
it's-
need to give the buyout. Just pay the money and get
And-
out, man. Because
Texas?
listen,
I thought
You know what? I would have not known that if you had told me. Now that you said
Yeah.
it, yeah.
that's
I
what-
would. Let me tell you, if Donovan's like, hey, man, I'm going to leave and go work for Joe Blow Company that's going to compete with you in Longview, don't think for a second. Don't discredit my pettiness.
yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It sounds like
They're
Big
petty.
12
the
is
Big
petty
12
too.
is being real petty.
It's there's so many stats. There's a guy named Kyle Umlang.
Yeah,
If you
I
follow him
follow
on
Umlang.
Twitter, he's a stat nerd. He puts these out. The Jalen Ford deal is almost criminal.
Yep.
It's not even close. I would rather get beat in the SEC knowing that the referees don't hate you than in the Big 12. And this sounds stupid, but no, Texas is going to go into the SEC in 2 years.
But isn't that what A&M did? They got out early.
Yeah. Yeah, A&M
out
kind of
2 years
snuck up
early?
out. They
Yeah.
snuck
Yeah.
out of the Big 12.
They got out of there
They just
early.
didn't want to play Texas again.
But
They
yeah,
still don't.
They had-
but you losing your revenue guys,
Oh, yeah, they're not.
your generators. You losing. They're mad. They're losing Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, the Big 12.
They're losing Texas, really. I mean,
Mr. Gray, yeah, the Big 12. I wouldn't say it's a joke because it's a great conference all around football, basketball, baseball, maybe the best baseball conference. Well, SEC maybe.
I don't know about that.
It's not the best. SEC is by far the best football conference.
When,
I'll
Texas,
argue
when
that.
Texas comes, we'll damn sure be the best baseball conference.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so
yeah.
too. And It'll make the basketball conference better, but you can look at the penalties called against that Umlang guy's got it. 2 holding calls.
None in Oklahoma State's game.
Against
None in Oklahoma State.
bad.
Yeah.
You can call holding on every play.
Right.
I'd like to know how many plays how many plays was the defense out over the year? See what that percentage.
He's
is.
got
That's
it.
got to
Oh
be
my
nuts.
God.
Bryce Young's run
Yeah,
to get the first down.
yeah.
Dude,
There was 2 holding calls.
He's just pulling him over.
No, it's bad. But
Well, that wouldn't have been a Big 12 crew calling that game.
No, it wasn't.
was it SEC crew? I don't know.
It wasn't the SEC.
I mean, they were at Texas, so it wasn't a Big 12 crew.
Now
We'll
Texas.
give them benefit of the doubt on
If
that.
we had different referees, I think Texas would probably still be 8-4, 9-3. But I'm not saying they'd be undefeated. No, I'm not saying
But
that.
0 penalties against Oklahoma. Oklahoma State did not have
And
one
what's
penalty.
they don't call them against Oklahoma either. That's the thing. It's Texas and OU.
That's a bad football team.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, it's
bad
crumbled
football
and
team
just
That's bad.
and it's making Lincoln Riley
What-
look even better.
Yes.
It's just a sad
what,
part
what
about it. I
they
don't
did
like
this year, that was definitely.
Lincoln
not
Riley
for
gutted
Oklahoma.
that team.
Yeah.
Speaking of recruits, is Clayton Smith happy? I'd love to have him at Texas.
I don't know.
Okay. Or Arkansas.
It's already been reported. He's in the portal.
It's
Yeah.
already been on Twitter.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that wasn't real. I mean, that wasn't.
Oh, who put that out
That
there?
wasn't.
Well, somebody put it out there.
It's not till next Thursday.
You know
okay.
and you know what they
Whatever
like
date it
Derek
is.
Brown down there.
They do.
They like him. I mean, the coaching staff.
When I was talking to Derek Brown pregame, I was in the little tunnel thing
Yeah.
or whatever. By the way, Patterson's a dick.
Gary.
Yeah, but I was talking to
Yeah.
him, and he's gotten a lot bigger,
Yeah,
like noticeably bigger.
yeah, yeah. That's what I've heard.
I talked to a friend of mine who has his former coach, guy he used to work for at TCU, says since Patterson's gone, the whole
They're playing better.
the energy.
Oh, he got offered a Division I job. Is that what I saw?
Pat Gary.
Gary.
Yeah.
You told me that.
Or
They
he was
talked about
interviewing for it?
a UNLV job.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
wasn't
was
UNLV
UNLV.
though. It was something.
His name was brought up for the UNLV job.
I would tell you to Google it, but you don't know how to use Google.
I would stay at Texas before I go coach at UNLV.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I hope Gary. I hope he stays. If Kwiatkowski leaves,
He
make
needs to
Gary
become-
Patterson.
He needs to become our DC.
And see, Gary Patterson, he loves Austin, Texas.
Yeah,
His
and
wife loves Austin, Texas.
our defense is playing better because of him.
Way better. Yeah,
Because of him.
it's
Now, it ain't Pete.
yeah. So I guess I was starting this to prepare you for Bijan. Won't win the Doak Walker Award.
He won't. You think he's gonna be in the Heisman candidacy?
No, because he's from Texas. No, he would have to. If Texas was 12-0, Bijan would be in New York.
So
He wouldn't win the
So you
Heisman.
say he won't win the Doak Walker? Blake Corum.
The only way he'll win it is because it's a national vote. These Midwestern and West Coast guys, they don't hate Texas.
Man, he's 1,500.
They love
yards.
USC and Notre Dame though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he's the best running back.
In the
And
country.
stats even tell you that.
Yeah.
But Jalen Ford was the best linebacker
Yeah.
by 1,000, and he didn't.
They're hated.
Dylan Ford's number 41, right?
41.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he's the kid that he was a 3-star from Frisco Lone Star, and
Mm-hmm.
played a little bit last year, and he got coached up and he developed, and he's trying to decide whether to go into the draft. If he goes into the draft, he'll be a 4th or 5th round pick. He can come back and be a 1st round pick.
He learned how to cover.
He learned how to cover people
Hmm.
and can run.
Can't cover though.
When you're 240 pounds and can
No, you
run
can
like
be
a
like-
running back,
You go to the NFL, you better know how to cover as a linebacker.
yeah, you got to cover people. So you didn't know that Texas hate was real, did you?
I hadn't
It's
heard
bad,
that. That is
yeah.
news to me, and
Yeah,
I can't wait to drop that knowledge on someone else. I hope it's true.
it is.
I'm
It
gonna take
is.
Yeah,
take it as God's word.
they didn't. Well, I mean, they played Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State did not have one penalty.
Not one.
How do you play a football game and not have one penalty?
I don't know. We'll ask Coach Surratt after the game tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if anybody doesn't get penalties called on them, that team somehow.
Well, you can call holding on every play.
Yeah. Now, they're always going to say some teams just good for football.
Yeah.
That's why they're going to let Bama back in if Utah. beats
Bama's
USC.
better than TCU.
Yeah, better than USC.
And Ohio State hadn't really played anybody, and they got beat by
Watch
somebody
them
they
get back
played.
in.
They never play anybody.
TCU deserves to be in there because they played.
I know, but they're just when y'all like, oh, they played all these top 25 teams, but they weren't really that good. They weren't like top teams, and only one of those teams are ranked right now.
Kansas State's really good. Texas is good.
But they're not. But TCU's not. They still hadn't played a top team. We can't talk about how good Kansas State is. You know, deep down, I know you know Alabama would beat TCU.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hands
I'd probably
down.
Vegas would tell you Bama would beat TCU. Texas beat Kansas State by they were up 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And
Start laying
it
eggs.
started getting closer, but yeah, whatever Vegas says, I'll agree with that. So yeah, they would pick Bama.
Well,
Sorry, Mugno. Michael Mugno, y'all know him?
Yeah,
Steelcrest.
owns.
Yeah.
Steelcrest, right?
He might be the only TCU alum I know in Texarkana. So he's going to the game tomorrow. So he'll be in at Marshall tonight, but he's a TCU homer.
any parting words?
Is that it?
We reached the end of the show.
Kevin.
Wow,
I'm gonna invite him back more often.
Yeah.
man,
Full of knowledge.
anytime,
Makes me feel better sitting by a horn.
anytime. Well, next
Better
time.
than sitting by a hog.
You got anything you want to say about Arkansas?
No.
Basketball team played last night.
They got a
Right?
real good
No,
basketball.
played night before last.
They played. They wasn't playing Troy last night.
We don't play.
Texas
we don't play
played
again until
Troy.
Tomorrow. No, they didn't.
Texas played Creighton.
They
last
played
night.
Creighton last.
Yeah.
My son's in Fayetteville. He's in law school in
Really?
Fayetteville. He
Sounds like a
loves
good
it.
guy.
He loves it there. Well, he's not a real good guy, but
We pig.
he's gonna be a lawyer. So there you go.
Go ahead and call the Hogs for us.
No.
Yeah, I thought you were a
Call
fan.
the Longhorns.
I thought you were a fan.
Call the Longhorns.
See,
Call the
even you
Longhorns.
know it's dumb.
What do y'all do?
All right, y'all show up at the game tonight. 7 o'clock. Be there early. 6:50. Tune into YouTube.
Hook 'em.
Look 'em.
U-O-K.